All right, let's get right into it. Greenland. For most of us, it's probably just a huge white space on the map, right? A massive frozen island way up north. But lately, this remote landscape has become the absolute center of a global power struggle. Suddenly, the world's biggest players are obsessed with it. And the big question is, why?
And this quote, this is what really lit the fuse. This wasn't just some off-the-cuff remark. This was a clear signal of America's intense interest and a much more forceful approach than we'd ever seen before. I mean, it left a lot of people around the world completely stunned, and you can bet the experts were deeply concerned.
It seems kind of crazy, doesn't it? We're talking about an island with a tiny population of about 57,000 people, where it being 30 degrees below zero is just a normal Tuesday. So what on earth could be so valuable there? Well, as we're about to see, there are layers to this, and peeling them back reveals something that could totally reshape the world as we know it.
Now here's what's really interesting. This whole idea of the US buying Greenland, it's not new. At all. This isn't just some recent whim. America's desire for this island goes back over a century. It's been this quiet, simmering ambition in US foreign policy for generations. Just look at this timeline. The first try was way back in 1867, right after the US bought Alaska. Then they tried again in 1910 with President Taft. After World War II, President Truman came in with a massive offer of $100 million in gold. That's over $1 billion today. And every single time, Denmark said, nope, not for sale. So Trump's move was just the latest and, let's be honest, the most aggressive chapter in a very long story.
So, to really get this obsession, we have to start peeling back the layers. And that first layer, the most obvious one, is all about military power. It's about grabbing an unbeatable strategic foothold in the Arctic.
I mean, if you just pull up a globe, it clicks into place immediately. Greenland is parked right at the top of the world. It's basically a giant, unsinkable aircraft carrier sitting directly on the shortest flight path for missiles between Russia and North America. So if you control Greenland, you pretty much control the Arctic.
And the US is already there, big time. Thule Air Base has this incredibly powerful radar system. We're talking about something that can spot an incoming ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile, just moments after it's launched. Plus, it's a critical spot for guarding all those undersea cables that carry our data between America and Europe.
Okay, a military base is obviously important, but does it really explain wanting to buy the entire island? It doesn't quite add up, does it? Well, that's because the strategic value on the surface is hiding an even bigger prize buried deep beneath all that ice.
And this, right here, is where things get really wild. We're talking about a treasure trove of untapped natural resources so massive it could shatter global monopolies and literally fuel the technology of the next 100 years. A real-life gold rush is starting on the ice.
The crown jewels of this treasure trove are something called rare earth elements. They're often called the oxygen of the modern economy, and for good reason. Without them, you can forget about building things like electric cars, AI chips, wind turbines, or any kind of advanced military gear. They are absolutely critical. And this chart, this tells you everything you need to know about the problem. Right now, China controls something like 90% of the world's supply. It's a virtual monopoly. And they've already shown they're willing to restrict exports to put pressure on other countries. For the United States, that's a massive, massive vulnerability. But here's the thing. Geologists believe Greenland is sitting on one of the largest untapped deposits of these very elements on the entire planet. We're talking neodymium for all those EV magnets, gallium for AI chips, uranium for nuclear power, silicon for semiconductors, you name it. Breaking China's monopoly is a huge, huge motivator here.
And if rare earth minerals weren't enough, how about oil? We're talking an estimated 31 times billion barrels of oil under just one small part of Greenland's coast, not to mention huge amounts of natural gas. But believe it or not, even with all of this, the military base, the untold mineral riches, that's still not the ultimate prize.
So here it is. This is the single biggest reason for this new scramble for Greenland. It isn't what's in the land, but what's opening up around it. We are on the verge of a new global highway that is going to completely change world trade forever.
See, for centuries, if you wanted to ship something from Asia to Europe, you had to take the long way around, through the Suez Canal. But as the planet warms and the Arctic ice melts, a new, much shorter route is opening up, the Northwest Passage. And just look at the difference in distance. It's not even close.
This new route cuts 9,000 kilometers off the trip. For a single cargo ship, that saves 10 to 15 days of travel time and millions of dollars in fuel costs. This isn't just a small improvement. This is a complete revolution in global shipping.
And this is the final perfect piece of the puzzle. Greenland is sitting right there at the entrance and exit of this new maritime superhighway. Whoever controls Greenland effectively controls the toll booth for the future of global trade. It is the ultimate strategic choke point. So when you put it all together, the military dominance, the insane resource wealth, and now control over global trade routes, the stakes for Greenland become crystal clear. This isn't just about buying some land. This is a power move that could kick off a new kind of Cold War, right in the Arctic.
And the fallout would be huge. A U.S. takeover could make it the undisputed Arctic superpower and finally break China's resource monopoly. But it would also probably shatter the trust between the U.S. and its key allies like Denmark. And for Greenland itself, the cost could be devastating. The fragile ecosystem could be destroyed by mining, and the indigenous people could lose their culture and their dream of independence forever.
And that leaves us with this one final, pretty chilling question. The melting ice is undeniably opening up new doors and new possibilities. But will those new frontiers lead to global cooperation, or will they become the flashpoint for the next great global conflict? The fate of Greenland might just decide the future of the 21st century.